Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Marty. Miss him. So that'll be fun.
Will you relax, bro? He just texted me a half hour ago. He just got into Vegas. This weekend is on me and Gavin.
It's good to see you, Gavin.
What are we doing? What's the deal?
Whoa, bro.
I'm fine, seriously. Just have a good night.
Who is this girl you're apparently marrying this year?
That's the only girlfriend I have. I know that's a tough concept.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Man, well, I'll tell you, a lot of this stuff comes from my old life. After I did 2 magazines. I did an art magazine called Provocateur, and then I did a toy magazine called Go Figure, which was sort of art toys, but it was all sort of a convergence of film stuff. So it was like an entertainment magazine. So the celebrities had their toys with them.
Right.
And so this sort of, I wasn't ever like a big collector, but I developed these relationships with these companies, and they started sending me crazy stuff. Here is let me see if I can bring it over. That is a 1/6 scale Ecto 1. So it's like about almost 3.5 feet long, lights up, and over there's a DeLorean, and
Look
there's
at
a lot
that.
of crazy shit. Anyway.
I did Halloween Horror Nights last year, and it was all Ghostbusters. They had a big haunted house at Universal Studios, and Dan Aykroyd walked the red carpet, and did Ivan Reitman too. So that was a great experience. So, and I was doing a podcast with some other critics about Star Wars, rating the Star Wars films. And I pulled out my Star Wars. This is when I was a little kid. I saw Star Wars when I was 11. So this is my action figures. I'm
going to take a picture of that because I used to have that. Hold on. There we go. Give me a smile. See, I'm interviewing you too. It's awesome.
That's true. And over here I have 1977. I have the Darth Vader helmet from Don Post Studios, signed by David Prowse. And it just fell over, but I also have an original one sheet from Star Wars. And you probably can't see it because, anyway.
Well, yeah, it was there for a second. That, of course, is incredibly valuable.
Well, I've had it since
I was a second house. You sell that.
Oh, yeah. So I have very few Star Wars original things left, but you know how parents are. I had the classic parents where every time we moved, they would donate toys or throw them away, or something like that. So, but anyway, that's very cool. Ryan,
Great.
Ryan, thanks for talking to me today. Greetings from Las Vegas. And you're in Los Angeles. Where are you at?
I'm in Los Angeles right now, literally and virtually.
I have not been to LA in forever. I miss it. I would travel there a lot. And so what have you been doing in quarantine? Is just getting your movie prepared, 2 Ways to Go West? Or
doing a lot of artwork because I still do a lot of artwork for movies. And yeah, I started aggregating all the different things to promote this film. Very proud of it. This would be technically my second movie that I've directed. So very excited by that.
And how did you get involved with the project? Because I noticed the previous movies you've done were like horror and thrillers. This is something completely different for you.
It is different, except that I believe it still fits within the same kind of general ideas I have, which is interpersonal relationships with people. Like even Trace, which was the first film, it's a horror film in order for me to tell a dramatic story. So the horror is almost a convenience for me. And this one was actually more along the lines of, this is the same sort of thing. It's that intimate breaking down of people's barriers emotionally, and to get to like the real drama or the real humor or the real comedy of life. And I felt like, this script, which was written by a really talented guy, who's on the poster there, it was all there, and it really spoke to me. So that's really the reason I was interested in doing it.
And, James Liddell, like you said, he wrote the screenplay. He also plays Gavin in the film. And they always say, being from film school, screenwriting class, write what you know, something personal. So this movie really deals with addiction, deals with friendship and growing apart. So did he write from a personal angle on this, or was it something he just created?
He's off camera right now. So if I glance over, he'll give me the go ahead if I'm allowed to say yes, a big thumbs up. Yes, yes, yes. See, that's very convenient. I can.
Well, because I'm dealing with a best friend for the last year dealing with addiction, and it's a nightmare. It really is. And he's been in rehab. He's done just about everything he can. And he's a great guy. He's not a thief. He's not a homeless bum. He's just, addiction has grabbed a hold of him. But it's like everybody's patience is worn out. He's died 3 times in front of me, believe it or not. Yeah, that bad. Narcan is a lifesaver, and it's just, but you just don't know what to do. And finally, you just get to that point where you give up and say, look, you're ruining my life. I can't do this anymore. You're on your own, So watching this movie, having his friends and dealing with that, it really struck a nerve.
I really appreciate that. My mother has been, and she wouldn't mind me saying this, my mother's been clean and sober for about 35 years. And and she went through her own set of huge life-changing events because of it. And the thing that I relate to it specifically with this film too, but my relationship with my mother really evolved when I heard this term self-medication. And to me, it dovetails perfectly with the term addiction, which I understand. I understand the idea behind why we define it that way. But to me, the other thing you can look at it as is self-medication. They are trying to fix a problem on their own. And the problem, of course, has something not to do with the drugs. It's something much deeper. And I thought that was something that was really interesting that was played on in the script in a very subtle way. Here's a person who ostensibly has it all, right? And yet he keeps having these issues with trying to numb something, trying to avoid something. And alcohol, drugs were the easiest, most immediate way for him to do that. And I thought, my gosh, it really is. It really is that window into trying to self-medicate yourself out of some sort of pain, which of course is not long-lasting. And oftentimes on the other end of it, things are much worse because you haven't really done anything to fix the problem. And that was something that I felt was really specifically brought out in the story. And even in the last scene, I don't want to spoil the movie, but in the last scene when the three guys converge, and it's not so much that they're confessing specific points, because there's a sort of codification in these kinds of films where they all sort of declare why it is that they do what they do or did what they did. And the fact that we avoided that but went in the direction of they're together, they're having breakfast, they're not talking, but they're buddies, is perhaps the way out.
Let's just say it just ends on a high note with French toast.
Yeah. Maybe very good French toast, maybe not.
I've been craving all day, by the way.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. There's a great place here in Vegas called Jams that has the best French toast. So
what's it called?
Jams. Jamms.
Jams. Okay.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
now, obviously, James was casted in this film, but what about finding the other male leads? Finding that chemistry of all three actors.
Sure. The great part about that is they're all friends. And
it came through. It really did. I felt that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wanted to listen. I knew Polly pretty well, and I knew James very well. I hadn't really known much about Drew, who's the what's his character's name? Boy, Shane. He's whispering, Shane. That's right, Shane.
He can join too if he wants to pull up a chair. I don't mind. He can come.
Why don't you come on over? Yeah, I don't know if there's a seat for you, but you come on over, man.
Yeah. Grab a chair or something.
Um,
Hey,
are you in surgery? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pull you out.
I'm doing a dental procedure.
Yeah, you might as well take your mask off then. You want to pull a chair?
Yeah, let me
Grab the chair.
Grab a chair.
He'll grab a chair. I didn't know Drew that well, but I got to sit and talk with these guys and try to approach the film the way you would approach, say, theater, and just keep reading it. And as we were doing it, play some improv games to learn, what's the comfortable way for you to speak about something? How do you sort of lean in jokingly on something, or how do you basically interact with people in a way where if you weren't being filmed, if you weren't on stage, and that we were able to sort of adjust each thing to each character.
Yeah,
So
because
James was James.
it came across as a play. It really did. It seems like you rehearsed it as a play, and it would be very, very easy to adapt this for the stage as well.
Look how small he is.
I'm a short girl. There we go.
Hey, James, welcome. Hi.
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Now, since you're here, this might be an awkward question, but what about the artistic freedom you gave Ryan? Because you're the screenwriter, you're the star of the film. What about that balance of power and the trust you put in Ryan as a director? Because this is your baby. So did you have many disagreements, or did you give him a license to see his vision too in directing the film?
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, fortunately, we ended up kind of just having the same point of view on everything. You know, there was times where, you know, we'd overshoot just to compromise and get everything that both of us wanted to see. But at the end of the day, we didn't really clash very much. And wearing as many hats as I did, I really wanted to just step away from everything that I could and just trust in Ryan. And when I'm on set acting, I don't want to be doing anything else. And I want to trust that the people around me are going to lift me up. And I feel like that's what Ryan did.
And what better
I
place?
joke that we have this hive mind because
Yeah.
so many times I'll say, you know, if we maybe he's like, oh, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
And of course, then the DP says, well, what part of the sentence did I miss? I'm like, oh yeah, so we're going to do a reverse on.
You always hope that you can develop that language on set where you just kind of do a few of these and the person knows exactly what you're talking about.
And what better place to have a bachelor party than Las Vegas? But I noticed you just did a little bit of B-roll. You really didn't come to Vegas, did you?
Well, we did. We actually did.
I mean, set some of it, like show you guys on the strip or something like that.
Well, the funny thing is, you know, the handful of times that I have been out in Vegas, me and my friends always joke because the best times that we have are just joking around and making fun of each other in the hotel room and like waiting to go gamble or waiting to do this or waiting for this person to get ready or waiting to go eat. And it's like, those are the times that we remember the most. Just because it's about the friendship and about the being together, especially with, you know, a lot of my close friends living back in Michigan. When we do get together, you know, we're at a blackjack table. You're not really bonding or spending time together.
I love that start your life over in Las Vegas sign. Did you paint that for the movie? I love that.
I created it in Photoshop and then we dropped it in digitally. Well, I wanted something faded and kind of I mean, there's this beautiful pastoral opening shot, you know, with the car driving in. So you feel like, oh, it's going to be that sort of rote kind of going into Vegas sort of thing. And then he ends up pulling up to this dilapidated sign for Vegas, which serves two purposes in the story, really.
Yeah.
Now, is this some sort of future collaboration because you guys made such a personal film together? Do you think that James later on that you're going to go to Ryan and say, let's do another project together? Or he's done a lot of horror films, so maybe you got something different in you.
Funnily enough.
Yeah, we've kind of already been going down that road quite a bit. And the good thing about Ryan is we try and get, you know, quarantine has thrown it off quite a bit, but we try and get together once a week and just bounce ideas off each other. Just keep that creative spark flowing. And it really inspires my writing. So, I mean.
And vice versa.
Yeah. So I think that we have already, you know, infused in each other's projects one way or another. And I couldn't imagine, you know, not doing another movie together somewhere down the road.
And with, you know, with the coronavirus, you know, having devastation on movie theaters, this is the time for movies like yours to shine. You know, movies that are on video on demand. So after all your hard work, it's premiering on the 17th. Is that correct? And where can people find it?
So it's going to be, it'll be starting to premiere on the 17th. What I was told by our distribution is that it will then kind of blossom outwardly because, like you say, with the COVID-19 hilarity, not hilarity, but it's terrible. It's going to seep into things like Amazon and Tubi and places like that. But, you know, they have to kind of figure out how they're going to place it. But yeah, it'll start on the 17th.
Well, excellent. You know, thank you both for joining me today. I really enjoyed the film. It was a little more dramatic than I expected. I didn't know anything about the film. I tried to go in cold. But really incredible performances, and James, man, writing from the heart, and it all shows. And Ryan, excellent direction. I mean, this is
man.
Drama.
I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, make sure you come out and visit us in Las Vegas when you have a chance, and I'll come to LA. We'll kind of
absolutely
Great.
Come and play with the toys.
Absolutely. Are you kidding? I've been looking.
I will not judge you.
Well, now we got
No, it's okay. Oh, I'm way over the 40-year-old virgin thing, but I'm just looking in the background there. Every time I see stuff like yours, I'm just like, I just want to, you know, I go to McDonald's, I get the Happy Meal stuff. It all starts over again, you know. So you got to be careful.
Well, we got to go to Jams and get French toast now.
Oh man, they take cornflakes and they put it. Oh man, it's amazing.
Oh man.
Great.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot, and good luck with the film, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much.
Take care.